Hey Flosstube, it is Michelle from Made by Michelle McGraw, and this is Flosstube number, I'm not sure. I will put it in the comments. If you are new here, thank you for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe to the video. And if you're returning, thank you so much. Excuse me. It has been a month since I made a Flosstube, I think about a month. I have been busy. So we had a big cross-country trip. I'll tell you about that. Before that, my middle son, he does mechanicking for our company. Him and the other mechanic were working on the tracks on our track hoe, and the other mechanic accidentally hit something and the sledgehammer ricocheted up and hit my son in the mouth. Great call to get. So he busted out some teeth. If y'all knew the money I have in this boy's mouth, we've had 2 sets of braces, an expander, now all of this. So he hit the front tooth, it cracked, it chipped, like broke it. They were able to save it. They put a crown on it. He's got the permanent crown, so all that's been done. The tooth beside it was not able to be saved. It actually had broken down to the root or to the nerve, and so they couldn't save it. They had to pull that tooth. They put some kind of spacer in there for an implant. He is going to be 19 in 2 weeks. So they want him to be in his 20s before he can get an implant. So they put a spacer there. He has a retainer with a tooth, which he'll have to wear until he can get the implant. They look amazing. I mean, from what happened, he had a fracture underneath the tooth that broke all the way down on his jaw. It wasn't the kind of fracture that you would wire your mouth, but obviously very painful. There was a little bit of skin up on his bottom teeth, but that was more cosmetic. I mean, really, in all, he lucked out, but lucked out that it could have been worse. We were able to get him to the emergency dentist, which is how they were able to save teeth. So his mouth looks fantastic now. It's been a little bit of dental work. He'll still need some in the future. He often forgets his retainer with the tooth on it and then leaves and comes back and gets it. And I'm like, it's literally beside where you brush your teeth every morning. How did you forget it? He also thinks it's super funny to take it out with his friends. And I don't understand that, because girls would never take a picture like that. But guys think it's hysterical. I don't understand. But luckily he was okay. He had to take antibiotics, some pain pills. He was fine, obviously, and he's been back to the dentist 3 times. So everything is fixed for now. He will have to wait to get the implant. His mouth looks fantastic, looks like nothing happened. And since then, I've had a dozen guys tell me how they smashed out their front teeth or teeth and have had them fixed. So apparently this is a rite of passage. Not one that I ever want anyone to have to repeat. So we had that. That was not fun or exciting. Exciting, but not fun. And then we went on a trip. So we went to go pick up a crusher from the Canadian border. So if you guys don't know, our main business, we have 2 businesses. Our main business is we crush concrete into rock product for resale. So all of our equipment is extremely big, as you can understand. If you're taking big chunks of concrete, throwing it into a crusher, crushing it down into rock, that's what we do day in and day out. We also have a grading corporation. It mainly hauls our rock, normally it's all rock based, because the concrete crushing takes so much of our time. So we only haul our pieces of equipment. We don't haul for other people. We're not contract haulers. We only haul our piece of equipment. We bought this piece of equipment out of Canada last year, actually. And Canada has some frost laws, so it can't move on the roads. Heavy stuff can't move on certain times. Anyhow, long story short, it worked out that the company that was going to bring it across the border could bring it across the border. Of course, now is when we had to go. So we left, we were out 18 days. Now, it did not take 18 days to get that piece here. We went from here to Sweetgrass, Montana, which is west. We are in North Carolina. So we went from the East Coast almost to the West Coast, but not quite, but pretty far up. We've picked up equipment out of Canada before in Buffalo, New York. That's not that bad. This was a lot farther. I think it took us 4 days to get out there. We switched. It's a piece of equipment that has its own axles. So you literally hook underneath it and you haul this piece of equipment, not on a trailer. So it has its own chassis because it's so large. The problem being is it was set up for Canadian roads and Canadian laws. It was okay out west, most of those states. We were on a permit load, which means we were over width, we were over weight, and we were over length. So there's all kinds of stipulations and rules, and they vary from state to state. So we were able to haul it down to Utah. We have friends that do the same thing we do in Utah, and we were able to get some of the weight off of it. I think when we started, we were grossing $163,000. We got down to Utah, all the way legal to Utah, and then we took, I think we got it down to $132,000. We weren't sure on whether or not we could get through Louisiana, and there was another state. Maybe Mississippi. We didn't know if we would have to put another axle underneath it. The Canadian setup has a set of 4 tires in the back. So there's 2 tandems. This doesn't make sense to a lot of people. There's 8 tires in the back of this piece of equipment. A lot of Eastern states do not recognize that. So they only give you the weight as if it was a tandem axle grouping, which means we had a ton of weight that wasn't doing anything for us. Possibly. Since we got the overall weight down, they allowed the load and as it was. We didn't have to do anything else. So we went to Salt Lake. We got some weight off, left some stuff there, in which we have a truck bringing that in today. And then we went to Dallas, Texas, because we were kind of on hold for our permits. We didn't know, they weren't getting back to us. So we were going to go to Dallas, Texas. We have friends down there that do the same thing we do as well. And we stayed with our friends out there for Thanksgiving. We were not allowed to travel over the Thanksgiving holiday because it was under permit. So they do have holiday rules on that. And I think we could have gotten to like Louisiana and then we would have had to stop till Monday. So that doesn't really make sense to stay in a hotel. So we stayed with friends through Wednesday through Monday. We left Dallas and then we got back to Charlotte on Wednesday of that week. So we drove, I think it was 5,800 miles, lots of miles, lots of time. I do have a TikTok up if you'd like to see some pictures. I have some pictures on Instagram. On both of those, I am made by Michelle McGraw. So you can check those out if you want to. But that's what I've been busy. So then of course, when I came home, I had tons of laundry to get caught up with. We did take enough clothes for 3 weeks. My husband said 2. I know better. I take 3 because I think if I was going to pack for 14 days, you would think, 14 pairs of underwear would be great. I think 36 pairs of underwear would be even better because that's how I pack. I don't want to run out of underwear. I don't want to run out of clothes. I did take some Tide Pods. I could have done laundry at our friend's house. I could have done laundry in any of the hotels we stopped at. But because I had enough clothes, I didn't. I just thought, no, I'm not gonna bother them. I'm not gonna mess with it. We have enough clothes, we're fine. But I had a lot of dirty clothes and then just overall getting caught back up. So I think I'm mostly caught back up at work and I think I'm mostly caught up around my house. But now I need to start Christmas shopping and do all the things that everybody else has to do. I have been stitching. I have progress to show. And then I have some haul and I have some finishes too. So before I left, let's start with the stitching because we're already 10 minutes in. Let's get to the stitching. So before I left, I had a day where I got to do some fully finishes. So I have 4 fully finishes. I showed one in my last video, which was fall finishes, and I showed a new finish in that one. So if you've not seen that video, it's the one right underneath this one. Go check that one out. And it was Maple Lane from Frosted Pumpkin that was new. So of the other 3, I have those to show today. This one is not mine. This one is my sister's. It's the last of her set that she did done for Halloween. And I've had this in my stash and I said, I really need to get this out of the way and get this to her. He is super creepy. If anybody wants the pattern, I think she got them on Etsy and I can find out where she had them. So she also has a little charm here of the werewolf, and this was her backing fabric that she chose. So that's the last one. She has several other ones that I've finished over the year. I just wanted to get those done, get it all the way back to her. So that is done. The other 2 are some Christmas ornaments that I have in my stash. As you guys know, I did the hashtag gold to 52 ornaments. And I reached mine. I think I did 53 ornaments. I'm not going to say that I'm done with ornaments this year. I might start something else. I don't know. I have been enjoying working on some big projects. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm working on bigger projects that I just haven't gotten around to. And I'm really enjoying them. So, but I have a ton of ornaments to fully finish. So you're going to see lots of ornaments coming up because I need to get them done. So the first one that I have it's a part of Stitching with the Housewives, and I think it's on the rooftop, I think was the name of it. I don't know. It's just part of it. It's just the Santa and the sleigh that I did. I did use a scrap of Picture This Plus fabric. I don't remember the name. It's probably Echo or there's another one that's like this. I can't remember the name of it. But it was a scrap and I added the snowflakes around. They are, I don't know what kind of stitches those are. Eyelet? I don't know. I don't know what they're called, but I just added those around there to kind of fill in. And then I rashed the ribbon on that I had. And this is my backing fabric, some Santa fabric that I had in stash. Now, everybody always asks me about my emblems. I get my emblems off of Etsy from Ever Emblem. I've had great luck. I get the 3-second iron-on ones, and I've always been very pleased with them. So that is the first ornament finish. When I have a longer ornament like this is my favorite way to finish. Put the buttons out to the side so that it hangs nice and even when I put it on the Christmas tree. The next one, the last fully finish I have, is an ornament. I think I stitched this last year. So I fully finished. I think I stitched that last year too. I don't think I stitched that this year. This is from Christmas Vacation. It was on Etsy. I've showed it done in a previous video and I said who the designer was. So it's Eucerius Clark, and I put down the little back stitching that says Christmas Vacation because that's one of my favorite Christmas movies. I used the little ribbon on the side, and here is my backing fabric. So those are my fully finishes, but I did think that I would share with y'all my cross stitch boards. If you don't know what my cross stitch boards are, I have a special edition Flosstube. I think it's number 35. It's in the 30s, and it does say special edition cross stitch boards. And I explain the boards, I show the boards, and I show some things for the boards. So I changed these boards out. It's all of my boards are a set of 4, and I have 3 boards in my house. So all of these frames are able to be switched out. So the first one I'll show you is my older ones. These, I don't know a lot of these designers because these are old patterns. I've done these for years. So I remember this one came out of a book, and it was a set of all of them, and they kind of had this black and white line in here. Little winter house. And then the Santa. I'm not sure if he came out of the same book. These are old, the old frames that come apart. You can get them in any craft store. They're not fantastic, but they do hold. And I explain how I prep all of those to go in my cross stitch boards on that video. Little reindeer. And then I just stuck this one in there, which is a little Christmas light. I have a little baggie of different ones, so I kind of mix and match each year, so it's a little different. I'll do my next ones. These were a set. Once again, I don't remember the designer, but this one did not go with the grouping. I had done it on, this is actually smaller count fabric. I think this is 18 count. The rest are on 14 count. But you really can't tell once they're finished. So I have a poinsettia. And as you can see, I just took a normal picture frame and I have it in there. This frame can go both ways. So I can do it vertically or horizontally, depending upon the pattern. So I get 2 uses out of these frames. The present. And then I have the Santa. I really wish I could remember who the designer of this one was because I really, really like him. Maybe my sister has the book. I feel like they came out of a book, but I don't remember. And then this is one of my favorites, the Santa face with his beard. He is so pretty. I really like him. So that's one set. And then my last set is a set. I do know the pattern on this one. This was a kit from Design Works. You can still get this kit. I don't remember exactly what the kit is called because they have several Christmas ones. It was like an alphabet for Christmas, and maybe Holy Night, A to Z Holy Night might be the name. I just took ones that were in the same direction and I made them into these frames. So we have Emmanuel, Rejoice. These are one of my favorites that I always put out every year because I love these. The colors are so vibrant. They're beautiful. Kings. And then this one is my favorite one. I love the colors. Journey. Sorry about the reflection. I love that set. I still have that pattern and I would like to go back and do more. And I think they use DMC, if I'm not mistaken. So it's very easy to pick that up and do little bits and pieces. So really nice. Okay, so while I was on the trip, I decided I was going to do a thank you piece for our friends in Texas that hosted us for Thanksgiving. Now, I have not ironed this. I've ironed nothing. So this is a no iron episode. I'm so sorry. I started this on our trip. We actually got a hotel one night. My husband has a truck with a sleeper on it. We don't stay in the truck unless we absolutely have to, which we've only had to do since I go with him. We've only done it once. I think he did it once with my son because they got stuck in the snow. And then he's done it one time when he forgot his wallet and he was going to Texas. I had his wallet here and he didn't, even though I could pay for a credit card, you had to show the credit card and show your license. I offered to fax it to them, to text it to them, and they wouldn't do it. So couldn't get him a hotel that night. He stayed in his truck. But there's no bathroom in the truck and there's no shower in the truck. And we like to shower and use the restroom. So we don't stay in the truck unless we absolutely have to. And I have never showered in a truck stop. So I don't even know what that is. I don't know how to do that. So, I mean, I'm sure it's not hard and the guys do it, but I've never done it. And so we just stay in hotels. So one night our hotel was right beside Hobby Lobby. And I said, I'm going to walk over here. He walked with me. And I'm going to get some stuff to do a pattern for Grady. I'm going to go ahead and start it for him and his family for hosting us. And they are very religious and very involved in their church. And so I knew that Sweet Wing Studio had these, it's gone out of my mind what I was going to say, Bible inspired patterns. I'm not finding the word that I want to say. I want to say hymns. It's not hymns. Verses. I think verses is what I was looking for. Lord. So this is the one that my husband picked. I don't actually think the background was supposed to be green. I think my printer did that, but it is Sweet Wing Studio. This one is called Trust in the Lord. And I'll have some more to show from this designer in my haul, but this is the one that my husband picked, and we have a printer in the truck with us, so I just printed it out on it. I went to Hobby Lobby. I got the DMC. They do call for fancy floss, but I just use DMC, and I was able to start it. I finished it once I got home. I didn't get all the way done, but I got mostly done. So I did make one change. This lettering was supposed to be filled in like this, but it was supposed to be in the dark green. I don't think it's showing up. There is a green box around them. It was supposed to be in this dark green color around these words. And once I filled it in, you couldn't read the words really well, and I didn't like it. So I pulled it back out and just did the boxes around the words so you'd still be able to read them. So that is the piece that I've done for them. And I'm going to fully finish that and then put it in a box with some goodies for them for Christmas and send it to them. So I'm glad I was able to get that done. I just had a little bit to go when I got home, and then I also decided I was going to change so you could read that really well. Okay, let me start with some other projects. All right, I worked on Beauty Fades, which is from Teresa Kogut, and it used to be a Patreon, but she's now released this. I know this is a bad picture, and I'm sorry. I did not do this box here. I'm doing this box, and this box. So my goal was to get done down to the houses. And I meant that goal and then put it up because, you know, I had other projects I wanted to work on, but I wanted to get down to there because this project's been lingering and I'd like to get down to it. And I started on the bottom box. I'm going to take this out of the hoop so you can see it. I might have showed it to you when I finished the other section. Maybe I started the bottom box. I think that's what it is. I started it. Yeah. Let me just snap this back together. Okay. Nerd hoops. I love nerd hoops. They're about, I have Morgan hoops and nerd hoops. I like the nerd hoops. I like the rectangle. I think it gives me more stitching area before I have to move the actual hoop. It's actually not scientific. I just think that. I don't know that that's actually true, but I do like them. So, all right, let me get my board so I can show you my progress. Yeah, because I think I showed you when I had the middle section done. So now I'm on the bottom section. So I've gotten all the way to the bottom. So you always like to see that you have enough room. And as you can see, I've started the house, the trees. I've gotten down to this house. So I've just got to fill in this bottom section and I'm done. I love this. This is stitched on, let me get the details. This is stitched on 25 count Pebble Lugana from Lori Holt. I'll go in closer so you can see, because let me tell you, Teresa Kogut is a master with color. And I adore these colors. You can't see much on the bottom section right now, but they're just gorgeous. So that is my progress for Beauty Fades. I can't wait to get back to it. I very much enjoyed the fabric that this is stitched on. I love the Lugana. I love the color. I really wanted the white church in that to pop, so I was very, very picky on what color it was going to go on, because that was like one of the main things that drew me to that pattern. So, whoops, I'm zipping my pattern in. I don't want to do that. Okay. So that was Beauty Fades. Okay. I think this is You Belong to Me. So this is one that went on the trip with me, and I'm kind of obsessed with it, and I like it. I didn't get as much progress, but I did work on it. This is a very beaten copy, but it is a PDF of You Belong to Me from Long Dog Sampler. And I am stitching mine with a cone of black and a cone of white. That's it. That's all the color that's going on this piece, and it is super fun. This is 14 count Murky. I actually want to do more just like this because I really, really like it. Oh, this might be a little big for this piece, for this board, but okay. So here's my progress on You Belong to Me. I have reached the end. This is the end, or the end of the top row. So as you can see, I'm just adding in some white here and there and accenting stuff. And I love this. I really, really love this. Let me go in closer. It's just a lot of fun. It's very easy. I think the white shows up great on the Murky, and of course the black shows up great. And it's just been a lot of fun to stitch. So that one is one of my favorites right now. I'm kind of obsessed with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I've just had a lot of fun. I want to do another one. I have one on my desk that I'm like, hey, I want to do another one. I haven't even finished the first one, so I don't know why I'm looking at a second one. Okay, sorry for bumping the camera there. Now, I think I have some progress from the last time I showed this on this, but if not, you just get to see it again. But I think I have some progress. It's not a lot. I took this on the trip, but this is a lot of confetti. So I actually didn't work on it at all on the trip. And I tried not to take projects that I wouldn't work on, but I should have taken this when we were at Grady's house over Thanksgiving, because we weren't moving in the truck, and that would have been the ideal time to work on it. But in all honesty, I forgot, and I just grabbed a bag. I'll show you the bag that I grabbed in a little while, because it had a great handle and I could just easily grab it and take it to his house. So I haven't actually worked on this a lot. This is the Bride and Groom, and this is from Laser Arts Designs on Etsy. This is a wedding gift that I'm going to be giving my son and his wife. I'm going to add their names down at the bottom. We knew that I would not get this done before the wedding, so my goal is to get it done by their first anniversary and have it framed, which I think is more of a realistic goal. So here is the top portion. I have the top portion of the Bride and Groom, and then starting down on her dress and flowers. Her dress also comes out here more. This is stitched on 14 count Under the Sea Circe. So, and that fabric was picked out by my son's wife. She liked it, she picked it. I think it's very pretty, and I've enjoyed stitching on it. It's a watercolor, I guess you say a watercolor design, and I've never done anything like that before. So it's actually been really fun to work on. Just not in a moving truck, because it has like one stitch here, one stitch there. It's a lot of confetti. I will never show the back because it's a mess. It is a mess. Okay, the next one is from Crochet Go-Go, and I'm not saying that right because I don't know how to talk French. So, or is that French? I don't know. But I don't know how to pronounce it. it is this pattern, and I think it is Spring in the City is what it says. So this is the pattern, and I think this is beautiful. Right now, I'm only doing the top line, the little village up top. It reminds me of Tiny Town, and this one has always been my favorite. Like, I just loved the colors. I think it's so pretty, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start that. I do need some more spring finishes because spring is my least favorite to stitch. I think it's the colors. I'm not crazy about them, but this is very, very pretty. I'm not crazy about pastels, I should say. I'm not crazy about pastels. Not that I'm not crazy about these colors. These colors are very pretty together. They're nice and bright and cheery. I don't have too much done. I think I have the first tree, the first house, and then I'm working on the third house. But it's very, very pretty. So I really, really like that one. She has a bunch of other patterns that are around the same. I know there's a Halloween one. I want to say there's a Christmas or a winter one where they kind of all have that bigger middle section, but the top part is like a little village. And I'd actually like to do all of them. I think they're really pretty. So I started that before we left. I did not take that with me. Okay, the next one is one that I restarted. So I originally started this on a piece of linen. It was Lakeside. I love Lakeside, but I was not, I don't know. There was something about it I didn't like. I decided to restart it, and I restarted it on a piece of 27 count Linda from Bestitch Me Muddy Puddle. And I am loving it. I think the change in fabric, I also kind of got my copy a little bit better, so it was easier for me to work with. And now that has made a big difference right there. So this is Cathedral Woods Goddess, and I think I might be past where I was before. So this is her. So she is very blingy because I've done the Krynic, but I have not done any of the beads yet. So I am just really, really loving her. This is Cathedral Wood Goddess from Mirabilia. Love, love, love it. I've enjoyed stitching on it. I've gotten a lot of time on it. I did not take this one with me as well, but it was sitting on my stand before I left, and then when I came back, just like that first day or so, as I was running around doing all the laundry, I would sit down every once in a while and get a couple stitches in. So this one has been revived, and I'm really, really liking it this time. So, you know, if you're not liking a project, think about maybe why you don't like it. And I think for me, it was the fabric, it was the copy. I'm still not a fan of the pattern being that great big pattern, but I get it. It is what it is, and we'll just move on, right? So, but changing the fabric was a game changer for me. It really was. And kind of cleaning up my copies. That was another thing. My copies that I made of the pattern. I don't know if that makes sense. My working copies that I made. Okay. This is the whip that I took and I probably spent the most time on. Okay. Because I had it in my Teresa Kogut bag and it all fits and it was perfect and it was just easy to carry. So I spent a lot of time on this one. And you would think I got more time stitching than I did, but I will be honest, some of those roads are not conducive to stitching. So a lot of people ask me how I stitch. I have a pad that, like a desk pad that sits on my lap, and I put my stitching on my lap, and when I can stitch, I pick it up and stitch, and when I can't, I just put it on the pad in front of me and let it sit there until the road clears up. Louisiana is not a state I can cross stitch in. Their roads are not the best, at least 20 is not. very bumpy. So if it's bumpy in a car, it's 10 times more in a truck. So this one is Love Your Family, and that is the chart that I'm doing. These are my working copies because I don't like to mess up my book. And this is my progress. So I have the house all the way done until I go to the next page. I'm starting over here. This is the man and wife. I've already put my wedding date in here. This side is all complete. So now I have to work on this side and then I'll move down. So this is stitched on 14 count. It's rabbit and hare flannel flower. So it's actually very, very pretty. I love that fabric. I hope they get more. I haven't seen it in stock anywhere lately, but hopefully they'll die more soon. I'm so sorry about shaking the camera. All right, so for my last whip, this needs a little bit of explanation. So I'm not gonna take it out of the hoop because it's one that I'm currently working on. But what am I doing? So I have wanted to do stockings for my kids. As y'all know, I started a stocking, 2 years ago for my son, messed it up. I was very frustrated. I still have it on the shelf. Haven't decided what I'm gonna do. But I also decided I wanted all the stockings to be similar size. Well, if you look Dimension, Stony Creek, Bent Creek, Shepherd's Bush, everybody has different size stockings. So what inspired me was a lady, and I'm sorry I didn't jot down her name for this video. It was on the Prairie Schooler Students on Facebook, the Facebook group. And she showed a stocking that she did, and she took the yearly Santas, and then she kind of used the book Stockings and More, which is another Prairie Schooler book, and made the stockings. Brilliant. They're not tons and tons of stitching. I thought, okay. But then I got to thinking, and I pulled out, once I got home, I pulled out my Stockings and More, and the Stockings and More pattern is not that big. So I would have to do a lot of fill, a lot of math, and I kind of hemmed and hawed about it. And then I decided, this was after I had all my kids pick out what yearly Santa they wanted to use, of course, right? So I thought, well, I really do want to use the yearly Santas. What else could I do? So then I thought, I started looking at my Shepherd's Bush ones. So if you look at a Shepherd's Bush, and this is Harry's stocking, they have a section in the top, a middle section, which has whatever design in here, and then a clearly defined bottom section. Okay, easy enough. I can take out this middle section and plug in a yearly Santa. I also like Prairie Schooler coloring a little bit better than Shepherd's Bush. So I thought, I'll use the Prairie Schooler colors. I already have those kitted up in my Prairie Schooler bag. I keep all of my Prairie Schooler yearly Santas. You can see the one that I'm working on here. I keep it in this bag. So I thought, okay, I already have those colors kitted up. I can easily, pick colors. So that's what I've done. So my son, my oldest, I'm starting with his, he liked the Americana Santa, okay? So that's the Santa he picked. I am gonna put it on Harry's stocking with the train, because I think Americana train. And I might have to fill in some around the Santa to give it a little bit more, because these are, how high are these? These are 75 high, where these are like 85 high. So I have a little bit of fill in to do. And they're not quite as wide as the Shepherd's Bush. So I can easily fill in stars, or there's all kinds of pieces in these stocking books that I could use to fill in. And also pieces on the pattern, this one has a little present I can put beside him. I can use some fill in. So this is kind of a work in progress, merging these two patterns. This is my start. So I started this yesterday, and I have a ginormous piece of fabric because what happened before is not going to happen to me again. I'm not going to run out. This is the top of the pattern, and it has this cute little flower border and snowflakes. And then I have to put the name up top, which is going to go on next. And then the yearly Santa, and then the train down at the bottom. So I am stitching this on 14 count Murky, and I'm stitching it over 2 because when you stitch the shepherd's bush, they call for 18 count over 2, which that's why shepherd's bush stockings are so big. I wanted to use 14 count for 2 reasons. Well, mainly one. One, I have a ton of 14 count Murky. So I have 6 stockings that I need to do right now. If I have any grandkids, I need to add to that. I always have 14 count Murky in my stash because I love it. So it's very easy for me to pull out Murky and add another stocking, obviously. I have some more stockings on order because I want some more varieties of what I'm going to pair together. I'll show you what the kids picked out, and then I'll show you the ones that I have. So this is the start of Kyle's, and I will add his name. I used Prairie Schooler colors. These were supposed to be, let me come in closer. So these were supposed to be rose colored flowers, if you could see right in there. Well, that's not very boyish, so I changed it to the blue that will be in the Americana Santa. So these are going to be larger than a normal shepherd's bush, but not hugely. I mean, it's just a little bit bigger because I'm doing it on 14 count versus 18 count, but over 2, just like the directions instruct. So let me pull out. There. I have it all separated. So this is the one my daughter-in-law picked out. This is the one my youngest picked out. This is the one my husband picked out. I might have the other ones messed up. Oh, yeah, they're mixed in here. I don't want to show patterns, so I'm trying to go slow. These two, my oldest son picked out the Americana one, and then my middle son picked out this Santa. He said it had the longest beard and he looked like a hobo. It's a very unusual child. And then this is the one I'm doing. I like this Santa that says, "And to all a good night." I wanted a long-coated Santa. I don't really know why. I just like the long coats on them. So that was kind of my deciding factor. So those are all the Santas are picked out. And then of the shepherd's bush patterns I have Richard's stocking. So I'll be piecing these together. I have, this one might be the hardest one because it's the coloring, although I changed the colors. I don't have a super religious Santa, so I don't know that this one goes, but I have a couple more patterns coming from 1, 2, 3 Stitch. Reed stocking. I really like this one just as it is, just so you know, like that one. I love the font that they used for the names. This is Parker's, and I love this bottom section with the houses and the sleigh going over them. I love that. But I also love, this is Thomas's. I love the sled being pulled by the sheep, little town down below. And then back to the other one, which is Harry's, and it's the train down at the bottom. I just thought that that was very Americana, so I put that with the Revolutionary Santa. So that is my project that I'm working on right now, and that's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get down and start stitching the yearly Santas. Okay, so What kind of haul did I get? Well, I got a lot of haul. Let me show you yeah, it's a lot. The first one I got off of, I think it was Instagram, and she had several of these bags, and you just put your name down and she sent you an invoice. And I mean, if that's not perfect, if you're a Yellowstone fan, that is perfect. So I got that bag. Love it, love it, love it. She doesn't have her name on the bag, and I tried she doesn't have it anywhere inside either. Look at the nice lining. Who doesn't love a gingham lining, right? Okay. I got a bag of Petite Treasure Braid, just some colors, lots of different colors. Mainly, I am in a group that is small, I can't remember what it's called, but basically they take mirabilias and do them on small count fabric. So instead of using beads, you use Petite Treasure Braid so that it'll fit on the smaller count, and just, that's the whole purpose of the group, to do mirabilias on small count fabric. So I picked up some of those so I would have them. Okay, this is Crochet Go-Go. I don't know what it says, but it's a cute Santa. So I got him. I got Stitching with the Housewives gingerbread. I have a little gingerbread display, and I thought that would be cute to add to it. This one I wanted last year when it came out in the Jingle Ball, and then it was finally released, Hands-On Design, Perry Noel, and I love that one. So that one is definitely a must-do for me. I also got Stony Creek Follow the Star. I think this is very pretty. I also got some of these homespun collectibles. So I have a video on my Instagram. If you haven't gone there, I have a video, it might be on my TikTok too. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's on my TikTok too. It has all of the ornaments that were finished at the time, mainly from last year, or previous years, I should say. And I had them all laid out on my couch, and I took video of them all. And I had a couple questions about Mr. and Mrs. Claus. They were from Homespun Collectibles, which is these patterns. You can still get them on Etsy. You can still find them in Facebook groups. I don't think retail shops have them because these are older. I was able to grab these from the resale group. So I got him, and then a fishing Santa. So I like this. I like different Santas. At some time I would like to have a whole tree of different Santas. So different unique Santas, I guess. And then here's another one from, I thought this was Crochet Go-Go. I think it is. I don't know. I think no, this is a different name. There's the name up top. It's 123 Stitch, so you can definitely find them on there. Name again. Okay, I got this off of Amazon. I saw somebody post it, and it's Captain Craft's cross stitch, and it's Merry Christmas, and it's the Night Before Christmas poem. And I love this. It came as a kit. I probably will change some stuff out, but I really think that's pretty. And it was on Amazon. Okay, I got some PDFs. Some of these were from Black Friday sales. This is Come Let Us Adore Him from A New Creation Studio. She is on Etsy. Love that. I love religious ornaments. They are harder to find than you think, but I do love them. Here's another one from A New Creation Studio. Lord Has Come. Oh, I'm sorry. Love Has Come. This one is what kind of started it, Nativity Band Sampler. This is new this year, and it is gorgeous. I love that. You could do this as a band, or you could do each section as an ornament, and I really, really like that. This is It Is Finished. So spent a little money with her. I also got my November Patreon from Teresa Kogut. I am in tier 4, so this one was Housetop Santa, and I really liked him. He is not printed in color. I don't really know why. We were having printer issues that day, but I really, really like this. And then Top Hat for Jack was another one. Really, really cute. So when I was on the road, I had gotten a couple of these verses, well, not a couple, a lot, from Sweet Wing Studio. So, Thy Kingdom Come. And she's on 123 Stitch, but she also has an Etsy shop as well. This one is Grace Upon Grace, and there's 2 colorways of this. And she shows both colorways. I don't know if I printed out the cover page for the other color. Oh, yeah, I did. So that's the other colorway. So that's kind of cool that she gave you 2 different colorways. And these don't take much. These are 58 wide by 87 high, so they're not huge. This is Let Not Your Heart Be Troubled. These are very easy to change colors if you prefer something different. This is All Things Through Christ. Love One Another. Gracious Words. Mary and Grace. Pray, or this is without ceasing. And a couple more. Deep Waters. I really like that you could put that out for like summertime, but it was also religious, so I really liked that one. Just a couple more. This one is Whatever You Do. You got a kitchen, that's really pretty to do for your kitchen. And All You Who Hope. Once again, you can change the colors. Super easy to change colors on any of those. So if you like something different or you have a different color scheme in your kitchen, easily, or not kitchen, in your house, anywhere. I think this was Black Friday. Kathy Barrett had a sale and I bought 2 8 Tiny Reindeer. And North Pole. I really, really liked him. I think he's a new one, and I really liked him. I also got one on Black Friday, Madonna and Child. This is from Brooks Books Publishing. Love that. And then these 2 are Carol Lynn's Needle Arts. And this is Holy Night 1 and Holy Night 2. Wait a minute, I have another. So Holy Night 1. And she is on Etsy. And Holy Night 2. I think she's on Etsy. No, CarolynNeedleArts.com. Yeah, so she's not. She has her own site. And then I have a couple more Teresa Kogut Patreons for December. We have Winter Wonderland. I always get these because this is a big one, but I like it. But you could also piece out some of these for ornaments. I love that. This one was my favorite, Cardinal's Friend. I adore this. I want to stitch this. And then the last one is Warm and Cozy Winter. Love it. So that is all of my stash, and that is all of my finishes and my whips. I will be working on the stockings. I will be working on some more big projects, and I might even stitch some more ornaments. But I hope to have some more stuff fully finished, because that's my goal, is to do some fully finishing. So I will see you next time, and happy stitching.